How's it going, everyone? My name is Demolisher, and I have another kind of serious talk for you guys. I didn't really think I'd be doing more than one, to be honest, but I guess I am, and so we're gonna talk about it. And in this video, I'm going to kind of talk about why I play video games, like why I'm so into them, why they're so prevalent in my life, and things like that, because it's kind of a more serious topic other than I just like playing computer games, or I'm one of those guys who just plays Call of Duty all the time, because I don't even play Call of Duty that much anymore. It was never really about that. In fact, I probably put more time into Halo 2 with just a friend, and into RuneScape on my own, yes, RuneScape, back in the day, than any other game, so Call of Duty wasn't even important for a while. So, I mean, I'm gonna try and sound like, not sound too typical or too cynical or too anything like that, but at the same time I'm gonna be completely honest. Real life kind of sucks. And yes, that sounds bad, but I mean, it does. I grew up, okay. There's things I don't want to say over the internet, things that if I vent them I don't necessarily believe are 100% true, but I didn't have a perfect childhood, I'll say that much. And my parents fought all the time, they still do sometimes, and I don't get along with them all the time, things like that. And so basically, as a whole, video games became escapists for me. They were my way of getting out of real life, or as this guy in an EGM magazine, well, the M is the magazine, said, video games are not a way of escaping our own lives, but rather powering them up, or something like that. And I kind of believe that, but at the same time I understand that they were kind of escapists for me. Okay, I didn't have a horrible childhood. I've heard of some people who had some pretty bad childhoods, and mine was nothing like that, so don't get me wrong, I wasn't abused, I wasn't molested, my parents weren't drug addicts or anything like that. I just didn't necessarily have the best childhood, and I didn't necessarily get along the most with my childhood, which could be on me, but at the same time, whatever. And so I didn't really like real life that much, and with primary school, what do you call it, like for elementary school and some of middle school, you know, I didn't get along with the people there either. I was picked on a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit, and I just generally didn't like people, and so I resorted to video games. Video games have always been present in my life, because my dad played them, and I grew up playing them and things like that, but they weren't something I was serious about until I just kind of needed them as an escape, a form of escape. And for a while, I didn't always need video games. I still played them, but I had like my toys and things like that, like action figures that I played with friends and things like that. I did always have Pokemon though, and I would always play Pokemon, even while I used to have these wrestler action figures that me and a kid who used to live across the street would play with, and we'd still always play Pokemon, even playing those. We'd like just stop what we were doing and keep playing Pokemon. We put thousands and thousands of hours into it, because for like a whole 10 years or more, we played Pokemon together. And I played Pokemon and things like that. So I could literally just spend my entire, well, at the time, it seemed like I could just spend my entire life sitting there pressing A on my Game Boy and be satisfied. And I mean, it blocked out the rest of the world for me. I didn't have to think about things, I didn't have to deal with things, I didn't have to live real life, my brain was focused on Pokemon. And same thing happened with RuneScape. I had like it was middle school, so it doesn't really count for much, but I had a breakup or something, and got kind of depressed for a young person to be depressed, not like serious depression. And I found RuneScape, a bunch of people were playing, and I just sat there and leveled up and played that game forever. I got in trouble because I was playing it too much with my parents, and they didn't like me playing that much. And they still, like, up until recently, when they realized that, yeah, I'm making money off this shit, this is a second job for me, that this is serious, they never really approved of me playing video games that much, which is partially why I wanted to play them more, because they didn't want me to, and it was the only thing that really held my interest. Never held interest in sports, never held interest in going outside and playing. Like, video games were the only thing that consistently kept me entertained. And so I had Pokemon and RuneScape back in the day, and like I said, I just kind of spent forever in those games and didn't worry about real life. But that wasn't all of it, because I didn't realize this back then, and it probably wasn't as prevalent back then, but I also have an extremely overactive brain. My brain is constantly firing 60 miles an hour. It's all over the place, it's always moving, never stops. Makes it hard to sleep, I will say that. And I'm always thinking about things, and so part of why they're good for escapists is because it keeps me from thinking about things I don't need to be thinking or worrying about right now. But they also keep my brain tied up. Like, I'm focused. When I can get focused on a game, I'm into it, and that's all that matters. And it helps me block out the rest of the world, and it helps my brain just kind of keep on a single path without going all over the place, which is an amazing feeling because I spend most of my time with my brain all over the place. So whenever I have a chance where it's just focused and like in the now, so to speak, it's fucking amazing, and it's actually like a really great feeling. And so video games have done that for me, and that's kind of why I got into Call of Duty and Halo, like Team SWAT, because it's all really fast paced. At the time, like when I started, it was faster paced than I could handle, which meant all of my brain power was going to the game. I could focus 100% on getting into games, getting into the game and things like that, and it just kind of like, I don't know, it tied up my brain and made me just more generally comfortable because I wasn't worrying about real life. And then, of course, I could, like I've been saying, I could block out real life, block out parents, block out friends, block out 9/11. I don't know. So that made things nice, and I don't know. It just kind of kept me company when I was lonely. They've helped me block out things about life that I didn't like, and they kept my brain busy, so I didn't have to worry about things like girls' problems, or parent problems, or money problems, or anything. And that's kind of why I've been getting a bit more stressed and stuff, like I talked about with my time management commentary, which you should go check out, because I haven't had as much time for video games, and so I've had to deal with real life, and I've come to see more and more that real life kind of sucks ass, especially when you're not like rich or something. So I don't know. I just wanted to rant about that. That didn't really come across as informative as I may have liked, but you know what? That's okay. I love what I do. I love, as far as video games go, I hate being a cashier. I love playing video games. I love interacting with the people about video games. It's not like I want to be a loner. I mean, I like gaming socially, so people that I meet through video games have been some of my closest friends. I've met some pretty awesome people through video games, through YouTube. I love making videos of video games. I love everything about gaming, pretty much. So, except for the negativity and hate of the COD community, but we're not going there today. So yeah, thank you for letting me rant. I may not put this up now because it kind of went all over the place, but at the same time I might, because it helps prove my point. Thanks for listening. If you have any feedback, leave them in the comments section below, and you should have been watching some Skyrim shenanigans, so hope that was slightly entertaining. I don't even know what it is yet. And yeah, I have a final in a couple hours I need to study for. Probably not going to study, but whatever. Bye-bye.